Perfect. And we're getting this meeting recorded. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Toast the Toss, episode 6. Today, we have a new set of panelists. And then I'm more than excited to welcome some of the new panelists and some who are our usual guests. All right. So let me start with the first panelist. He's a showrunner, the brainchild behind this show. So please put your hands together to welcome Arijit. Let me get that right. Welcome Arijit or Arijit. Okay.
Yeah, it's Audiojit.
It's what?
It's Audiojit.
It's Arijit. Okay, I got the pronunciation right. Perfect. Okay. And then the second panelist is our foodie traveler, and that is Varun, who's debuting first time on the show like Arijit. Welcome, Varun.
Thank you, Suraj. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Varun. Good evening, Varun. Then we have our usual guest, the devil's advocate in Bidhu Das. Hello, Bidhu.
Hello, Suraj. Thank you.
And fourth panelist, we have Tejas, who's not in red again. We'll figure out what the reason is. He's in blue today.
Yes.
And last but not the least, our Kashyap, who's back from a refreshing vacation and who's trying to recreate that vacation as his background. Welcome, Abhinav Kashyap.
Thanks, man. I'm still in Coorg, still in my vacation, still with my coffee. So all's good.
Perfect. Okay. All right, gentlemen, welcome again. I know some of you are disappointed. I'm in black with a little bit of shade of blue because we are mourning the loss of Indian team at Headingley. But, you know, the first question I want to ask you guys is, what do you think transpired between the third evening and the fourth morning? Because it seemed like Indian batting had stood up really tall on the third evening. And then before I could switch on the TV and feel happy that history was being recreated, the team just packed and we lost the match. What do you think happened?
So let me bite the bait first. So I have a feeling, particularly in England, we go through like a sine wave. Because you remember the previous test match as well, Rahul scored an unbelievable century. Next day, crashed down, right? So every time we go up, we ended the last match on a high. The next day, we plummeted down, right? So the next day, which is the first day of this test match, we crashed. Likewise, we did well, we crashed. So I think, most of our cricketers, having missed most of their mathematical education, I assume, have decided to learn a little bit of trigonometry and show us what sine theta really can do in life. So that's my silly guess, but I think it's honestly just a case of too much confidence leading to complacency. There's a thin line between confidence and complacency, and I think we find ourselves slipping across both directions very frequently.
Yeah, you've been very spiritual, Abhinav. I love how you got sine wave, mathematics, and the debacle, and you gave us the t-shirt line. Too much confidence leading to complacency. Fabulous opening comments. The rest of the gentlemen.
Well, go on, please.
Go ahead, yeah, Varun. Yeah, please.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Suraj, it's pretty simple in my opinion. The new ball happened, and just like Sunil Gavaskar always says, that whether it's in a new session or on a new day, you start off taking fresh card and you start at zero. So unfortunately, Cheteshwar Pujara did not start off mentally at zero. Probably he wasn't at 91 on that day. Kohli was not on 44 on that day. So unfortunately, Robinson and Anderson were too good for both our Indian sons of cricket. Yeah.
I think for me, a short answer is Anderson happened, and Anderson has happened quite a lot over the last 10 years. Right? We saw that whenever Indian batting has dominated, Anderson has been a little off color. Also, on the third day evening, in the middle session, he was serving up too many straight balls, which Pujara can flick. But once he got back into the rhythm, right, it's just he has this mental edge over all of our batsmen. We can talk about the time when Nadal was winning on clay against Federer, right? Nadal was, Federer is perhaps one of the greatest player ever on clay. But whenever he was up against Nadal, he had that mental block. And I feel it's the same with our Indian batsmen since Tendulkar. If you think about it, Anderson has troubled Tendulkar. He has troubled Virat Kohli. He has troubled Rohit Sharma. All of these guys, stalwarts of Indian cricket. And I mean, a simple answer for me: Anderson happened, and he's going to happen in future as well. So we just have to find a workaround there. No two words about it.
You guys are saying grandfather is killing the kids. He killed batsmen in his generation.
Oh yes.
He killed batsmen the next generation.
Yes.
And now he's killing the next generation. Okay.
Yeah. So I have an interesting take on this. So if you remember on the third day, because of the partnership between Kohli and Pujara, there were seeds of hope being planted all over India. So people were like, including me, people were like, if India could bat the entire fourth day and possibly the first session on the fifth day and can stretch the lead to 175 runs, then have a go at England. So on the fifth day, which is today, which is coinciding with the National Sports Day, which is marking the 116th birth of Dhyan Chand, if they can bundle out England within 116, the social media would have been on fire, right? Now, if you look at the England side, the fifth test match is destined to happen in Manchester. And right now you can imagine the euphoria of Manchester people with Ronaldo coming in. So the England team would be like, we have to enter Manchester with the hope of winning this series. So for them, it was absolutely crucial to win this match because it was a series leveling match. So on the night of third day, it would have been a tussle between who is going to ensure the social media is on fire, whether the Manchester fans on the fifth test or the Indian fans today. So I think England are well on course to go to Manchester with the hope of winning the series, but I think India will come back on the fourth test.
I like this prophecy theory. So this is like zeitgeist in the cricketing world. Third day, Dhyan Chand, then Ronaldo, then Man United. This is just fabulous, wonderful in terms of how you're able to connect all of this. Okay, interesting.
The only thing missing at the end of that conversation was LHS is equal to RHS. I went everywhere else.
Yeah, Bidhu, you just reminded me that I just want to tell you, lightning doesn't strike twice, my friend. Yeah.
Okay, I have one more theory about it. I think we missed someone like Rohit Sharma on the opening day on the fourth day. He has shown such a good temperament against the new ball. We need some kind of confidence like there. With Pujara and Kohli, I think it's absent. They are unable to tackle the new ball. So I think we need someone with the temperament of Rohit Sharma to overcome such fiascos.
He was unlucky to be given out. No, it was so close, so close. I thought he was going down like.
Yeah, well, that's what Hawkeye said, but it
what...
just returned umpire call. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's a good segue to my next question. What should India do? I mean, what would be the top three changes? Because if I was playing selector, right, in this series, Rohit has scored consistently 50s. He's not got a century, but he's scored consistently. Rahul, so Rohit is undroppable. Rahul, you cannot drop because he's done fabulously well in the first two tests. Kohli has now scored a 50. Pujara has got to a 91. Rahane had a 50 sometime earlier in the second test, I think. So top five, you can't drop them because at least they've got to a 50. Pant is the X factor. From a batsman perspective, what would you guys do if you were selectors?
Well,
I'll go with the.
Sorry, we spoke last time that once Rahane does that minimum, it's like, thank you so much for doing it early in the series. You now have the chair to go relax in. I'm sorry, Tejas, you were saying something.
Yeah. So your answer was much funnier and interesting. I'll go back to the boring stuff. No, I'll go with the same top six, and it's oval, so it's going to be flat. I'm expecting it to be a draw. So,
Okay.
so at 7, we have to see whether Jadeja is fit or not.
Wait. Hold on to that thought. I'll come back to the bowlers. But from a batsman perspective,
batsmen,
yes,
yeah, they
you
remain the
stay
same.
with the same?
Yeah, they remain the same for me. I mean,
Okay,
they've done
okay.
each of them have done their own bit to deserve one more test match. So it'll be the same.
Yeah, I think Rahane has to go, man.
Yeah, I too would like to take that stand. You know, now Rahane doesn't have that reputation of saying that, you know, he probably bats better abroad than in India, right? Apart from that second or third test in Australia, where he scored a century, he hasn't shown much promise. And Suraj, if one of our other friends were here, would have first asked for the head of Kohli, served with served with Rahane on the side. So I do feel that Rahane should make way for someone else, and Pujara has made his place for the next 2 test matches at least.
I'm just going to take that analogy a little further, Varun, because I just fell in love with what you said. Kohli's head served with Rahane on the side with Ravi for a drink, is it? Okay.
Well, Varun said about our friend who would suggest sack Kohli and all that. So I also mirror that same opinion, but not from the batting lineup. Drop Kohli as captain. Enough is enough. Get Vihari in place of Rahane. Ashwin should be included in place of Jadeja. And I would like to see a new. I would like to see a fast bowler.
We'll come back to that question.
The
Just the batsman, Arijit, because I'm going to come back to the bowlers in a bit.
Vihari in the place of Rahane for now. And Rohit Sharma as captain in place of Kohli.
Oh man, this is disastrous, dude. Like, you're dropping the captain. I mean, you're playing the captain, but he's not captain. The vice captain is not even in the playing 11, and then you have a new captain. Okay, interesting.
On a lighter note, there are no Mumbaikars in the panel as well. Still, Arijit is batting for them.
So, sorry, Oreo, you cannot drop Virat Kohli as soon as he wins a toss. Okay, Pawan, that fellow has been running around for the last 7 years. He's not won a single toss. The first time he wins one, you say drop him. What the hell?
Yeah.
Can't be done, man. Although I support your decision, just wrong time.
Okay. Bidhu, your take?
I would also go with the same team simply because, look, Rahane is batting at number 5. If Pujara would not have made the 91 score, even people would have been asking to drop Pujara, and then probably I could have inserted Mayank Agarwal because he's a top order batsman. But because Rahane is at 5 and no one is actually breaking the door open in the domestic circuit at number 5. Yes, Hanuma Vihari is there. He can come back in because of the special innings that he played in Australia. But he is not someone who is looking to score hundreds. I'm not sure. He has to prove himself at the international stage for me to at least drop Rahane. The other player is again Sky, who has been drafted into the test side solely because of his short format confidence and form. And I don't think he can bat that well at 5, because you have to remember, when you're batting at 5, more chances are you are batting with the Pant or Jadeja or the bowlers, and that requires some sort of experience to go with it. So I think the next test match is highly crucial and experience will count. So India might just go with the same batting unit. Just to play the devil's advocate again, because my name is that. I think Pant in this, if you see in this series in isolation, everyone has scored at least one good innings, and Pant has not looked that he could score runs in these kind of conditions. So what if you drop in a Mayank Agarwal and ask KL Rahul to keep wicket? I'm not sure whether that would be a surprising move, but it's still on the card.
Again, we come back to the same thing, right? Your name is Rahul, and you're from Karnataka.
Yes.
You do whatever the team asks for you. I think that would be too much on Rahul to keep and open the wicket. No, absolutely.
Yeah. I wish. That's a very interesting twist that you did to the end. But before that, I'm very happy you said Sky, because I was like, somebody has to bring in Sky, right? Sky is like that one person who might not get selected through this series, but everybody wants to at least see him. I think he deserves the chance, but again, it's highly unlikely that he might get it in this series. But okay. But now that you've opened the wicketkeeper question, anybody think Saha for Pant?
I think Pant is just so much more energetic behind the wicket in terms of his chatter, and I think that plays a big factor. Besides, I don't remember Saha scoring big daddy centuries either. He takes more time on the crease, no doubt about it. He absorbs more balls, but at the end of the day, our Pant can do in 15 balls what Saha would take 75 balls for instance.
Yeah.
And I don't know which is better, but just for that chatter value. Also consider if the next track is flat, which we expect oval to be, and if it's not going to give that much assistance to, let's say, the pace, the seam bowlers, maybe Pant will be a better pick. But yeah, that's just my unintelligent opinion as I keep.
I just wanted to know about this controversy which happened with Pant. Like he had some tape on his gloves or something like that.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
And he does not get banned like the Smith and Warner kind of thing.
I think three things happened. One was that I think he was shadow practicing when the bowler was in his run up.
Can I say that? Look, we know by now that ICC listens to our podcast. Okay, so very irresponsible thing to say.
Stop putting ideas. Stop putting ideas in their head. Yeah. No, I think.
No, but there's another keeper. I would like to go ahead with him. It's not Saha. I would like to give a chance to KS Bharat in that case. So, he performs pretty well in the domestic circuit, but not a great time to experiment in the middle of a gripping series. But Pant is my first choice.
Well, I just want to give a cinematic analogy to Pant. So probably Pant would be telling Ravi Shastri, "Sabka badla lega re tera Pant," after that Australian series. So I think that's the hope with which they are holding Pant onto Kohli on one side and Shastri on the other.
Yeah, I think we'll remember. We hope, fingers crossed. We hope that he gets he demolishes fourth and fifth test. But yeah, okay. So Pant stays. So our top six stays. Now, Michael Vaughan. I was listening to him and Harsha Bogle at the end of the test. So Michael Vaughan wants to start a trend on Twitter which says #Get Ashwin Back, right? And then Harsha Bogle promised to retweet. If you all have Twitter accounts, please retweet if Michael Vaughan starts that whole hashtag. But on a serious note, what changes? What should our bowling unit be?
Well, brainer really. And Ashwin has to come in. He should have been there for the last test match too. I don't really mind 3+2 template either. With the kind of for Sharma, yes. For the kind of turn that Moeen Ali was getting. I know he performs really well against us, which I don't know why, but anyway, the kind of turn he was getting, it was just it's a no-brainer actually. He really should have been there. Ashwin in place of Ishant Sharma. I'll be okay with 3+2. If someone like a Siraj is tired or Shami is tired, we always have Umesh Yadav to just back him up. I think 3+2 should be the template for Oval and Manchester, Old Trafford.
Well, I think the most annoying term in this whole series is the talk of the template. Like template everywhere, and it does not serve any purpose also. And for the first two matches, I was wondering about PowerPoint all the time for some reason.
So I've spent a lot of time trying to decode Kohli's team, right? And as an RCB fan, this is like half my job anyway.
Yes.
I think his template makes sense because he's never deviated. In test matches, he's always gone with only 4 bowlers. And I think that template is what he has retained. Jadeja was picked as a pure batsman, not as a bowler. He has bowled accordingly, in my opinion. And the 4 bowlers, again, Kohli's go-to is that there's no Yuzvendra Chahal to spin, so he's gone with just 4 seam bowlers. It seems like that, particularly the way he's using the bowlers. I would think conditions should dictate what should happen. We know that London pitches are good for spinners, and if the track does show signs of being dry and supporting turn, as we generally historically expect it to, it's about time that we got two spinners in, like Tejas said, for the next couple of matches, maybe, or if not, at least for this one, so that we put ourselves on a level footing again.
Thank God, Abhinav, for your last line, because otherwise, before that, you almost sounded like Kohli in the post-match presentation about template, about the conditions dictating. But okay, finally, in the last
I want
line,
to also
you did
add,
give
right? Like, so you say tweet, bring back Ash or whatever, right? But frankly, there's nothing new. It's not like Michael Vaughan has discovered another planet somewhere and he's tweeting something new, right? People have been saying this for, from the time he came up with the stupid decision of not keeping Ash. You take him to tracks that absolutely don't turn, and he does a great job for you as a bowler. And then you have tracks that do turn, and you can put a team on absolute pressure who aren't great at playing spin, with the exception of Joe Root, right, who's like immortal or something. But it just beggars believe that there's a think tank supposedly behind this decision of not having, Ashwin there.
Well, just to add, Abhinav, I don't know what the think tank is. I feel it is, as small as a fish tank or whatever, because I don't think there is any thinking going on there. And Tejas, just to add to your point, Moin is now released from the curse of RCB, right? From the curse of Virat Kohli's influence. And I think that is why he's doing really well. And there's absolutely no sense in not having probably one of the best off spinners in the world, no matter what the pitch, right? And also having such a cricketing brain, if you can't have Ashwin, then I really think that the think tank is working in vacuum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not someone who believes in ifs and buts. If he had taken a wicket in that session, maybe we could have won. But I'm very sure of one thing, that Root would not have scored 440, 450 runs in this series if Ashwin was there. It's easy because he has stopped someone like Steven Smith in Australia. I mean, it's Steve Smith in Australia. He averages 80, 85 in Australia. I mean, it's just, I don't know what goes on. I'm just simply frustrated there.
Suraj, with your permission, I would like to ask a question. What spurred England to make such a nice comeback here? Like they surprised everyone. And this is the C or the D team? Which team is this?
Only one hypothesis, gentlemen. I think of late what we are seeing is that we are not seeing any one team dominating over a period of time, right? Frankly, if you see, everyone is playing really well, or most of them are playing really well in their home conditions. And no one is dominating. I think, frankly speaking, Ponting's team was the absolutely last team which dominated over a period of time. I think that's my opinion.
Also, the other,
it just needed a spark.
Right? Sorry, go ahead, Abhinav.
I said it just needed a spark, right? Root was always playing on God mode in this, and Anderson just came back and small little sparks, and then suddenly Haseeb Hamid is like, yeah, if you can do it, I can also try.
Yeah, that was so surprising. The openers scored 100+ runs. Like, that was really surprising.
Also, I think, sorry, just one sentence. I think Root saw too many Indians, including Virat Kohli, in the Fab Four. So he just wanted to shatter that, whatever that tweeting or the trend. That's why he wanted Kohli out of that Fab. So.
I mean, let's not trivialize what he's done. He's just absolutely playing on God mode. It doesn't care. You can bring a cannon and shoot a cannon at him, and he'll navigate it, right? I mean, he's
absolutely, yes.
He's on song.
The most important, impressive part about his batting is he comes down to the crease 20 minutes, and then you see he's 20 of 30.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah, his
okay?
run
When
rate.
did he? Yeah, when did he get all these runs? I mean, he's already there in the game, dictating the bowlers and making them bowl to him and plucking the gaps. It's just amazing. It's something Williamson used to do so well when he came in and 2011, I think 2013, 2014 season. But I mean, it's just too good. We should take a moment to appreciate the kind of cricket he's been playing, Root, since Sri Lanka actually. A couple of really big
this
hundreds
was
there.
right? Couple of years ago, I mean,
Yes,
they almost were like, Root is done and dusted.
Root is
not
done.
in the
Yeah,
top for
2019
any-
Ashes.
Yeah.
2019 Ashes.
Yeah.
The Headingley Test match was the match he scored around 70, which really went under the radar because of whatever Ben Stokes did later. But yeah, I think that was the Test match he turned everything around. So.
But I have one question for you guys. How many Olis are there in the England team? There's Oli Pope, there's Oli Robinson, there's Oli Stone. Oli is like the Sachin, the name Sachin in India, right? Like every other person is an Oli. But sorry, Abhinav, go ahead. What do you think?
No, nothing. I wasn't saying anything. Sorry.
Okay.
Now, Oli has been there since Game of Thrones.
About with what Tejas mentioned. So I think we have to take into consideration Root is the only one in the top four who doesn't play the shortest format, right?
Yes.
So he has totally skipped T20 out of his mind. So he's only focusing on Test cricket and one-day cricket. So I don't know how much of an impact it is happening, but the one thing that he has overcome is that he is scoring runs in subcontinent and he is scoring runs in overseas conditions, which is a bit rare for all the people who are legends. Even Ponting had some drawbacks playing Harbhajan in subcontinent areas, but Root is scoring runs everywhere. So it's completely laudable what he is doing.
Yeah. Let's see if India plays Ashwin and if he scores against Ashwin, then I think we will do a tribute to Joe Root at the end of the series. But I think he's almost reached God mode. He just has one more pedestal to become immortal if he conquers our top spinner. Okay.
I think he may score runs against Ashwin. I wouldn't see Ashwin as the person to come and tackle Root, but I think Ashwin coming will tackle the rest of the team to a much higher degree. But yeah, I don't know because Root sweeps very, very well, and he's come in India and he's played Ashwin and I don't know Jadeja and the others and done well against.
You will be sure, like Ashwin will definitely rattle Butler at least, if not anyone else.
Any left-hander. Butler, yes, but any left-hander. You have Burns, you have
Moeen Ali and Sam Curran.
Yeah, David Malan at 3.
Oh, David Malan
at 3. Yeah. He's going to struggle too. I mean, if Ashwin is in rhythm.
Got it. So here's a what-if question, right? I mean, India in Australia lost the first test. They had an aberration, and then they went on to win the series. And then in England in India, India lost the first test, and then they went on to win the series. Now in England, Nottingham, they were about to win. Rain spoiled it. Lodge, they played really well. Was Headingley the aberration India really wanted? Because they want to make it exciting. They want to kind of, reach that back to the wall situation and then bounce from there. What do you guys think? This is just a very what-if thought process I had.
I mean, I really thought when we were discussing, right, the score line for the series, right, I had said 3-1 India, and the one was in Headingley. Yeah. Because Headingley is a place where I expected India to be, challenged completely. Yeah. Because it's not spin friendly, and if you get a bat on the first morning at Headingley, unless you are Rahul Dravid and Sanjay Bangar from 2002, you're going to struggle big time. So I mean, it's an aberration, and they were expected to, struggle over there, and that's done. One bad game of the series in the bag, out of the system. I think they'll be fine. Oval and Old Trafford.
Okay.
I think statistics can be bent in any way you want, right? So if you remember when England came here, they won the first match and then lost everything, right? So in the same way, India won the first match and then we may lose everything. So,
but come on, Abhinav, we had Ahmedabad pitches.
They also had, or they have swinging pitches. But yeah, I mean, look, I don't know. I'm happy in a sense that we've broken this habit of losing the first match spectacularly. whether it's going to remain the same or not. I hope we win the other two. I still think we have a strong team to do a good job in conditions, provided the right team is put on field.
Yeah, absolutely. I just hope that, this is the aberration that you're, you want it to be. But I just hope that our headstrong captain actually uses his head and his heart in the right combination and not go by the template and take the right decisions. And definitely, I too am rooting, no pun intended, rooting for India to do
well. Yeah, I mean, there's a fair possibility with Jadeja being out. Shardulkar might come in, and we are hoping Ashwin might come in. And then that leaves us with the energetic bunch of Shami, Bumrah, Siraj. So that's still 5 bowlers plus 1.5 batsmen in Shardulkar and Ashwin.
Someone has to go and tell England it's about time they did some rotation business. No, how long will our uncle keep bowling, man?
And adding to Arijit, I hope BCCI prepares pitches in England and at least we get one Ahmedabad type pitch. On a lighter note, Arijit, supporting you.
Yeah.
We need our Trisha to get active in England.
Yeah.
Yeah, Suraj, to the point of losing matches and then coming back. So I think in the last 2 years, so I read a book called Anti-Fragile, which defines individuals who get stronger after facing a setback. So I feel this team under Kohli is a bit more anti-fragile instead of being resilient. So every time they face a crushing loss or some media banter, they do come stronger. So I still feel that this team can bounce back with the same individuals, even if there are no changes expected. But I think there will be changes. Irrespective of this result, Ashwin would have come in because the workload of the bowlers have already stressed to 3 tests. And I don't think Indian fast bowlers are reputed for their own fitness. So I think this team is going to come back in the 4th test.
I think Bidhu there makes a wonderful point. I mean, I can see a pattern here because, this Indian team takes a little bit of time to get to know the conditions. And that's probably explains why we haven't won an ICC tournament because it's all knockout games, right, that we have lost. So, when you're put on the spot and you don't know about the conditions or, the opposition players, that's where we tend to struggle. And I think that's one of the, at least for me, I think it's one of the reasons why we haven't won over the last, it was 2013, the last time we won a ICC Champions Trophy? I think any ICC trophy
in England.
In England. So I think, that's a fantastic point.
You're saying Lords is the aberration, winning is the aberration.
It was in 2014. It was in 2014. 2014 Lords was the aberration.
Aberration, yeah. But I like the anti-fragile point. It's almost like the Indian team was bored. They were like, oh, you know what? Everybody is singing praises. Let's just, go back and get to the dumps, and then people will start challenging us. They'll start questioning who we are, and that is what will feed us. Okay. So we're almost at the end of our show, but before we end, we have a special message or a song from our showrunner, Arijit, for the Indian team. Right, Arijit? So the stage is all yours. We're all waiting to listen to you.
When things go wrong, just sing this song. The birds in the tree will sing C'est La Vie. And Kohli, soon you will see, your cares will be free. Just sing C'est La Vie. Thanks.
Perfect.
C'est La Vie. That's life, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a lovely song.
Lovely.
I definitely start thinking about singing. I mean, practicing, but that was a good start.
C'est La Vie and good tidings for Ravi and boys.
Oh, yes.
They should be in good spirits.
Yes. This has been a wonderful Sunday evening. Thank you again for joining in, giving your thoughts, and look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you for everybody who's joining live. Take care. Have a good rest of the week, and let's hope India does really good at Lords coming Thursday. Take care. Signing off. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So much.
Bye.